Hey, good day, folks, and welcome to another edition of Lumberjack Logic Live. I'm your host, Neil Johnson. Excited to be with you and excited to share the news with you. And, folks, I have gone through the RFK Jr. hearing, and it absolutely was beautiful the way RFK took them down. So much of this was performative kind of nonsense by politicians, so I tend to not want to invest too much time in actually watching the politicians because they're nut jobs. But RFK really laid it straight to him. And it does have DC in a bit of a panic, a little crisis mode. I can show you this. There's many tweets like this by the senators on the DFL Democrat side. They said, frankly, this is Senator Reverend Raphael Warnock. That's right, Senator Reverend. That's with many. What do I want to say? What would be the word here, folks? He has all these financial arrangements that are questionable, but he's also, did he steal an election, Senator Raphael? Stolen elections have consequences, folks. Frankly, I have seen enough. Secretary Kennedy should be fired immediately. He's destroying the agency responsible for keeping diseases like measles and Ebola under control. This is deadly serious. That's right, deadly serious to their pocketbooks. As Kennedy exposed in these hearings, it's gone crazy, folks. There is a huge pressure campaign going on to remove RFK Jr. right now. It's been ratcheted up as 1,000 HHS employees sign a letter demanding his resignation. Oh, well, heaven forbid the bureaucracy be upset. If 1,000 employees who help lock down America, close schools, mandate COVID shot masks, and social distancing want RFK fired, it's a badge of honor. RFK Jr. remains one of the administration's most popular cabinet secretaries. This is an issue that unites so many parents on both sides of the aisle. When you have these vaccines, well, folks, this is what they're really worried about. So this is Eric Fiegelding. And so this character, I looked up his profile on X, was apparently associated with Johns Hopkins University and on, really thinks vaccines are the bomb. And here we are, 1991, vax kids against infectious diseases, government should require it. We were at 81% in 1991, and we are down to 51%. That is a 30-point drop, folks. So he feels we're entering dark times. I feel we're entering good times. Do me a favor, please smash that like. Do chat in with where you're from, folks. I am going to share with you a video here. Looking for a specific one. I'm going to take you all the way back to the 1990s with Cheryl Atkinson reporting for CBS. This is on flu shots, and this was unpopular at the time. As a result, this information isn't widely covered, but let's check this out.
Here's what scientists have found. Over 20 years, the percentage of seniors getting flu shots increased sharply from 15% to 65%. It stands to reason that flu deaths among the elderly should have taken a dramatic dip, making an X graph like this. Instead, flu deaths among the elderly continue to climb. It was hard to believe, so researchers at the National Institutes of Health set out to do a study adjusting for all kinds of factors that could be masking the true benefits of the shots. But no matter how they crunched the numbers, they got the same disappointing result. Flu shots have not reduced deaths among the elderly. It's not what health officials hope to find.
No, it's not what they hope to find at all, folks.
NIH wouldn't let us interview the study's lead author, so we went to Boston and found the only co-author not employed by NIH, Dr. Tom Reichert.
We realized that we had incendiary material.
Dr. Reichert says they thought their study would prove vaccinations had helped.
We were trying to do something mainstream, that's for sure.
Were you surprised?
Astonished.
Did you check the data a couple of times to make sure?
Well, even more than that, we've looked at other countries now, and the same is true.
Isn't that interesting? So they looked at other countries, the same was true. But here's what's interesting, folks. They had to go outside the CDC because nobody in the CDC would confirm this. Isn't that wild?
Study, soon to be published, finds the same poor results in Australia, France, Canada, and the UK. And other new research stokes the idea that decades of promoting flu shots in seniors and the billions spent haven't had the desired result.
Okay, this is what's so wild to me. Okay, so I'm just going to, the flu shot in particular. So I have an uncle who just gets this every year. He runs around and gets his flu shot, yet he still gets the flu. And what's even more interesting about this, I've looked into this. They do not know what flu strain is going to come about that year. There's no way to vaccinate for the coming flu. So why are people getting jabbed? So I don't know how many of you, I'm going to ask some questions here because this is an interesting conversation. So let's just take COVID out of the picture. Let's just take jabs in general for the flu, for whatever, right? So as kids, and I got some vaccines as a kid. I remember my mom taking me in to get a vaccine. I can't even remember what that one was, but the bottom line back then, a lot of times, so the vaccine schedule has changed. The vaccines have changed, all of this. So, I mean, we can get into all that, but let me ask you this. How many of you out there have never had a vaccine in your life? Yes or no? I mean, from like childhood till now, how many yes or no you have had a vaccine? Okay. Yes or no. And then like, how many, do you know how many you've had? We'll let this play as you answer that question.
Current head of national immunizations confirms CDC is now looking at new strategies, but stopped short of calling the present policy a failure.
There's an active dialogue into how we can do better to prevent influenza and its complications in the elderly.
So what's an older person to do? The CDC says they should still get their flu shots, but it could make flu less severe or prevent other problems not reflected in the total numbers. But watch for CDC to likely shift in the near future more toward protecting the elderly in a roundabout way by vaccinating more children and others around them who could give them the flu. Cheryl Atkinson, CBS News, Washington.
Okay, this is an interesting comment. Retired Navy, no choice, lost count. Yeah, when you're in the military, that's just part of the deal. You know what's interesting is I got the malaria vaccine and yellow fever because I went to Africa on a missions trip. Again, but this is different than some of the things we're getting over here. So malaria vaccine actually has saved lives. That's a real thing. So it's not that I'm opposed to all vaccines, but I do find it fascinating. The height of lunacy. You know what really saves people over in Africa? Something really simple that we can do, because they do have a large malaria problem over there, is they have bed netting, and that really helps with malaria. So just not getting bit by these things in the first place. I want you to remember, though, as I get into the hearings with RFK, and there was some pretty explosive stuff there. This was the former assistant director of Health and Human Services, right? And so this is who was deemed good by these same people that now deem RFK Jr. bad.
Say to folks who think that they're being reasonable by saying, why can't children just wait till they're 18?
Adolescence is hard and puberty is hard. What if you're going through the wrong puberty? What if you inside feel that you are female, but now you're going through a male puberty?
Folks, oh my gosh, you're going through the wrong puberty. Your body just doesn't know what's right.
The argument is, well, they're too young to know.
I want to make it clear that for prepubertal children, there are no medical procedures done.
That's not true. That has been proven to be a lie.
The standard of care allows them to explore that with therapy. Well, gender-affirming care is medical care. Gender-affirming care is mental health care. Gender-affirming care is literally suicide prevention care.
Oh, yes. That's why we have all these problems still. The suicide rate is unchanged. And now we have more of them committing mass shootings. Isn't that pleasant? These are the people, okay, again, that they think we're good. Yeah, this is crazy. All right, let's get into some RFK clips.
Kenny, Dr. Daskalakis, who recently...
Wait. Now, the volume got a little quieter here on this clip, and I was unable to, I was having trouble getting all these exported. Exports were taking way too long, so I had to start this a little late. But So you'll have to turn up the volume for this clip in particular, but he's going to talk about Dr. Daskalaskis. So I'm going to just remove this for 1 second. I'm going to add this back in, and I want to show you Dr. Daskalaskis. Oh, that's the guy on the left. You guys have maybe seen some other pictures of this guy in his bondage outfits. He's a different duck, man, hanging out with dudes in bondage outfits. So this was their CDC. This is my CDC. I'm taking mine over there. So let's get back, though, to I just needed to make sure you knew who Dr. Daskalaskis was.
He resigned as director of the National Center for Immunization and Respiratory Diseases. His resignation letter stated he and his team were never allowed to brief you. I'm curious who you're listening to, since it's clear you're not listening to qualified experts like Dr. Daskalaskis. Can you give the committee the name of the person?
I don't consider Dr. Daskalaskis.
Mr. Secretary, the question that I have for you is, can you give the committee a name of who you're getting briefed by?
I'm getting briefed by all.
Okay, again, so what RFK was going to say there was I don't consider Dr. Daskalaskis to be this expert that you apparently consider him to be. Just how many of you out there, just based on the limited information you've seen, would want to take health information from Dr. Daskalaskis over RFK? Yes or no? Dr. Daskalaskis or RFK?
The time by CDC.
Just a name.
Well, Dr. William Thompson's one name.
Mr. Kennedy, you hired a man named David Geyer to conduct this study. Is that correct?
No.
Is Mr. David Geyer working for HHS?
He's a contractor, but he's not conducting a study.
He's a contractor?
He's a contractor.
Do you know who works for you, Mr. Kennedy?
Yeah.
Did you know he never went to medical school?
He's not practicing medicine.
I love this gotcha question. Do you know that he didn't go? Well, he's not practicing medicine. RFK is like, what is this joker talking about?
Did you know that he got caught in Maryland and was charged for practicing medicine without a medical license?
Uh-oh, folks. Like, here it is. The senator asked the question. I mean, apparently this guy got caught in Maryland and was charged for practicing medicine without a medical license. I mean, that's pretty bad. That's pretty bad. Oh, wait, though. Truth Nuke coming in. Watch this. These people are the greatest at self-owning themselves. Watch this.
He was charged by a medical board, he sued the medical board, and the medical board was found to have acted in actual malice and was fined $2.6 million by a judge in Maryland for doing that.
See, so
So wait. He was found, what? I thought, oh, wait. But then they had to pay out $2.6 million because he didn't actually do that. And the board was found of malice. It's just so beautiful. Now listen to this idiot.
you choose to know a lot when you want to know a lot. It's incredible, Mr. Kennedy.
Senator, you're
incredible.
ridiculous.
So here's the question I have. You brought him in to do this study. I think there's no question
I
about it.
told you he's not doing a study.
Is he participating in the study?
No. What
Is he
he's
doing any analysis in regards to this study?
No. What he's doing is getting access to the Vaccine Safety Data Link, which is the biggest repository for vaccine information that your friend would not give us for 7 months.
Whoa. So in other words, for 7 months, they couldn't even get the information. And now this guy who's in there as a contractor is getting the data and probably doing data analysis, whatever. These senators are so pathetic. Wait, though, it gets better. Wait, which one do I want to go to next? Because there's so many good clips here. I'm going to go to, I actually think I'm going to bring this in first. Then we're going to get back to RFK. I'm going to bring this next clip in. I do need to mention, folks, though, you guys know my sponsor, Birch Gold. Get your free info kit by texting the word lumberjack to 989-898. I mean, come on. When inflation jumps, when you hear the national debt is over $37 trillion, Do you ever think possibly that maybe now would be a good time to buy some gold? Everybody told me, oh, at $30, don't buy it. I bought some at 29. Don't buy it. It's too high. It's high. Now silver sits at over $41 an ounce. Gold, oh my gosh, it's at $2,000. Don't buy it. Now it sits at $3,700 an ounce. So, you know, believe what you want. I'm glad I'm buying gold and silver. You do what you want, but Birch Gold, you can get your free info kit by texting Lumberjack to 989-898. You can even roll existing IRA or 401k dollars into physical, tangible gold and silver, okay? And keep it in that tax-free account. Now, this, if you're doing that, you can be eligible for a rebate of free metals up to $10,000. So that's going on right now. So text Lumberjack to 989-898. All right, back to this. I wanted to talk quickly about what is the HHS CDC? What is this stuff all for? This guy spells it out so well. I think this was on Newsmax. This clip ran.
What does the CDC do? What is their function? Do you have any idea what that's part of what I was observing. Nobody seems to understand what the CDC role is in healthcare. Do you have any idea? We report on it all the time. Do you know what their original charter was and what they're supposed to do now?
Please share.
They originally were advising how to eradicate malaria. That was the original charter of the CDC. Now they are to advise, strictly advise. They're to oversee the public health system. Public health is not healthcare. It is not the healthcare system. It's an advisory panel to help physicians make decisions. And you know what the physicians at their liberty to do, regardless of the FDA, regardless of the CDC, is to do whatever he or she thinks is in the best interest of the patient sitting in front of them. That's it. That is our charge. I taught medicine for 20 years. Never once did I ask one of the residents, what the CDC tell you to do about that? I might have asked about CDC data, but the CDC is not healthcare. Public health is not healthcare, and people are terribly confused. And these senators are grotesquely confused about what these bureaucracies are charged to do.
There you have it, folks. They're not healthcare. It's not what they're charged to do. They're way outside of their bounds, just like so many of the other bureaucracy. That's why the Chevron decision was so big. Okay? When you find that the EPA is overstepping its bounds, that's why it's so great that now Trump is eliminating some of these DEF requirements, because they weren't ever a law passed in Congress. These are just edicts from executive agencies. Again, I can go back to the root meaning of an executive order, what it is for. It is not for making law. President Trump does not have the ability to make law, and I don't want him to have it. And I'm sorry if you don't like that. I actually do love our Constitution. I do not want President Trump to be able to make law, because I don't want Joe Biden to be able to make law. I don't want Barack Obama to be able to make law. The reason our founders made it hard to get laws through and get them passed, they have to go through the Congress, the Senate, and then get signed by the president. The president can veto, then they can do an override of the veto if they can get 2/3. The reason it's supposed to be so hard, folks, is because we don't need a bunch of freaking laws. Okay? Now, the problem is that these executive orders that had been issued in the past were designed to create law. Trump's executive orders are simply telling and tasking the executive agencies to enforce existing laws that are already there. That is the bulk of his executive orders. Do you all understand that? Okay, so I don't ever go down the road of thinking just because your guy is in there that you want them to be able to just randomly make laws, because you don't. Trust me, you do not. Executive orders are for the president as the chief executive to be able to tell the agencies what to do. Something really benign could be like changing lunch hour from noon to 11:30. That could be an executive order. Okay? Y'all get it? Anyways, I get so frustrated with this stuff. All right, let's get back to another clip of RFK. Oh, this is one of my favorites. Elizabeth Warren.
Your promise that you made when you were looking to get confirmed in this job.
You're going like this.
And that is, you promised that you would not take away vaccines from anyone who wanted them. You just changed the classification of the COVID vaccine.
I'm not taking them away from people, Senator.
It takes it away if you can't get it from your pharmacist.
Well, most Americans are going to be able to get it from their pharmacy for free.
$200.
Most Americans will be able to get it from their pharmacy
the
free.
question is everyone who wants it. That was your promise.
No, I didn't. I never promised that I was going to recommend products with which there is no indication.
When you said,
and I know you've taken $855,000 from pharmaceutical companies, Senator.
Did you hold up a big...
And I know you've taken $855,000. Okay, do you know what was really funny? Was after this, Bernie came on, and I'm not going to share Bernie's clip. But Bernie then went on to say, well, everybody's taking money from Big Pharma. Oh, so that makes it better. Do you guys all feel better about all of these politicians taking money from Big Pharma? Does that make you feel good? Yes or no in the chat? Just seriously, let's let them know. Yes or no? Bernie, does that excuse it? Bernie's explanation. I mean, she took $855,000. Look at her face there. This is so awesome. We'll let her finish up.
Sign saying that you were lying when you said that, because you are the one who said you would not take them away. Now, Senator Kennedy,
I'm not taking them away from anybody.
Secretary,
you want me to indicate a product for which there is no clinical data?
Senator,
is that what you want?
Is that what you want, Lizzie? Okay, so check this out. I think it behooves us now to show. I had this great clip of Caitlin Collins interviewing that dude with all his bondage stuff. But anyway, so let's just go into this. Oh, here we go. Oh my gosh, healthcare campaign contributions. It turns out that all of the Bernie, Raphael Warnock, who I showed you the text of, Elizabeth Warren, Ron Wyden, Patty Murray. Look at the biggest receivers of this. Bernie Sanders, I thought he was like the scion, the hero of the left. No wonder he's like, well, everybody's doing it. I'm getting twice as much, but everybody's doing it. No, folks, I thought this was good. Yeah, we might as well dress her up. We know who the sponsors are. Pharmahontas. That's right. It's no longer Pocahontas, folks. It's Pharmahontas. Oh, my. Oh, my. Folks, smash that like button. This is good stuff I'm giving you this morning. All right. Let's go on to another one here.
The evidence is transparent for the first time in history, and you were never there complaining when the pharmaceutical companies were picking those people and then running their products through with no safety testing.
You can characterize it any way you want. I quoted them today. What I said was accurate. What you said were lies. You just
wait, folks! I got to share. This is Michael Bennett from Colorado, and I got to remove this quick. This is also Michael Bennett from Colorado. These are the people that want you to take them seriously. Let me ask you a question. Seeing Mr. Bennett this way, Senator Bennett, does this make you trust him more? Does this make you feel good about getting information from Mr. Bennett? Oh my gosh, folks.
Hey, Senator,
moving the Titanic.
Senator, are you saying that the mRNA vaccine has never been associated with myocarditis or pericarditis in teenagers?
I am simply.
Is that what you're trying to tell us?
I am simply trying to say that the people that you have put on that panel, after firing the entire.
You're evading the question.
No, I'm asking the questions here.
It was a great question. It was a great question. And now you're evading the question. No, I'm asking the questions. I'm Michael Bennett, the U.S. Senator from Colorado. I may not have really gotten the votes, but I'm going to shove this down your throat.
evading that question.
I'm asking the questions,
I
Mr.
asked you a
Kennedy.
question.
I'm asking the questions for Mr. Kennedy on behalf of parents and schools and teachers all over the United States of America who deserve so much better than your leadership. That's what this conversation is about, Mr. Chairman.
Senator, they deserve the truth, and that's what we're going to give them for the first time in the history of that agency.
Whoa. How many of y'all want the truth? Did you like this? So this is why I say I get frustrated watching these hearings. So I'll watch some highlights and I'll clip this together for you, because Michael Bennett, it's performative theater for this dude. Did you see him? No, I'm talking about the parents, and he gets this wrinkle on his brow and he gets all mad and up in your face. And he's like, oh my gosh, do we have Bennett on the list here of how much money he got from, oh, Michael Bennett, he's on the list too. Let's see. How much is he taking in? $3.7 million. Wow. Bennett has taken in $3.7 million. Well, it's no wonder he's getting defensive about it, folks. All right. Let's listen to good old Ron Johnson give RFK Jr. Well, here, actually, I want to go to this. So you talked about the jabs earlier, and I talked about, it used to be like when I was a kid, there were some initial vaccines given. Whether or not those vaccines are good, that's not even what I'm here to discuss, but I want you to see the vaccine schedule and how much it's increased.
Behind me, yeah, I know it's going to be hard to see from there. I can barely read it. This is the current CDC.
This is Senator Marshall. He actually is a doctor, unlike Michael Bennett.
Recommendations for vaccines for children. On day number 1, they get their first jab, a hepatitis vaccine. By the time they're 18 months, they've had 18 jabs. By the time they get to be old enough to vote, they have 76 jabs.
76 freaking jabs. Are you kidding me? My word. All right. Now I'm going to throw in this Ron Johnson clip.
Just talk about what you've witnessed in terms of the capture of the agencies that you're now in charge of, the corruption of science, which I believe you just said, that is almost your number one goal, right? Is try to bring integrity and credibility back to science, which has been corrupted by the people who pay for it, by federal health agencies being captured by pharmaceutical industries, by big pharma, by big food. Just, I want to give you, I'm sorry, just the last minute to, first of all, defend yourself, but talk about the corruption of science that you're having to deal with and trying to correct.
Yeah, I mean, I'll just tell you one example, and I could sit here and give you thousands. But in 2002, CDC did an internal study of Atlanta, Fulton County, Georgia children, and looked at.
It all goes back to Fulton County, Georgia, friends. I mean, isn't that where the water pipe burst or something like that? What's wrong with Fulton County? And then where Fonnie Willis is from? Anyways, going back.
Children who got the MMR vaccine on time and compared those to kids who got them later. So in other words, kids who got them before 36 months and kids who got them afterward. The data from that study showed that Black boys who got the vaccine on time had a 260% greater chance of getting an autism diagnosis than children who waited.
260%. Why have we not heard about this study before? This should have been front page news across the nation.
The chief scientist on that, Dr. William Thompson, the senior vaccine safety science at CDC, was ordered to come into a room with 4 other co-authors by his boss, Frank DeStefano, who's the head of the immunization safety branch, and ordered to destroy that data. And then they published it without that fact. So you know that story, I know that story, and you know of hundreds of stories like that. It happens all the time. We are being lied to by these agencies, and we're going to change that right now.
It's so encouraging to hear that RFK Jr. wants to change the agencies in such a way that we don't need to hear all these lies that they are continuing to propagate. It's absolutely disgusting that we have to listen to this and that the government lies to us at every turn. The other day, I was in L&M Fleet Supply up here and talking to the gal behind the counter. And I was talking about going out to Colorado and Montana elk hunting. She's like, "Well, I like Colorado, not Montana." I'm like, "Well, why do you like Colorado?" And she goes, "Well, they have weed." And I'm like, "What? Really?" And I said, "Well, I mean, okay, so they have weed. Is there anything else?" "Well, they're kinder to their animals." And I said, "Kinder to their animals? I mean, do you think their elk are excited about wolves coming in?" I mean, because they're, "No, wolves do this, that, and the other." She's telling me all the benefits of wolves. And I said, the Lolo in Idaho, which used to be a premier elk tag in the country, great wilderness area, has now been decimated. There's no elk left. They're wiped out. And she's like, "But are they really?" I'm like, "They're not there." "Well, maybe they just moved." Okay, they're displaced. That's land that elk could live on. This, I'm going like, how do you talk to these people? I'm like past the point. Like, you can't reason with them. Okay. I mean, right now they have a campaign to eliminate some of those wolves in the Lolo in Idaho because they're out of control. In Montana, you're allowed to shoot wolves. In Colorado, they're reintroducing them, and you'll never be allowed to shoot them, just like here in Minnesota, where we now have no deer. And then I mentioned that, and it was so funny because somebody peeks around the corner and he goes, "Are you Neil Johnson?" And I said, "Yeah." And he goes, "I watch you on YouTube all the time." Turns out he was a game warden for one of the reservations, and then he joined in on the conversation. It turned out to be a great conversation. I may have him on the show actually to interview him about this subject because I think it's largely missed by the media. How badly people have fallen in love with predators and seem to hate the ungulate population and love to see them get eaten by their back legs and us not be able to harvest them because she's going, "Do you really need to eat deer?" "Well, I suppose I could eat something else, but I kind of like deer and I like the aspect of going out and getting my food. And furthermore, what makes a wolf more valuable than me? Why should I not be able to get my deer meat and the wolf should be able to get theirs?" It's absolute insanity. Okay. I actually like wolves in the sense that I like having them out there. I'm a wildlife photographer, but it's gotten out of hand. Like all things with liberalism, they always mess everything up. So anyhow, it's oh wait, Pamela has a comment. Pamela, yes, my brother was an outfitter in the Frank Church. The wolves have been decimating the elk for decades. It's true. They did a study, actually. I don't know if you guys remember. I had Dan Picar on. He's a hunter with Eastman's Hunting Journals, but he also delves into the wildlife biology subjects quite a bit, as does Eastman's. But he talked about specifically in Alaska, the caribou herds were just wiped out. The same thing has happened in Canada. We used to have these large herds of caribou, Newfoundland and those areas, and they've been wiped out. Well, in Alaska, they were wiped out. So what they did was they started shooting grizzly bears from helicopters. They did this 2 years in a row, taking 90 some bears each year. And as a result, the caribou herd has more than doubled in size in that short period of time. Predator control needs to happen in these areas. You cannot protect predators forever while allowing the prey to have just unchecked. These wildlife people, these crazy freaks, think that we should not be involved in the process. Like somehow we're not part of the natural world. I'm part of the natural world. It's insane. It's insane. I want to mention something else really important. I did see another thing here I wanted to mention to you all that popped up on my news feed. And apparently this pressure campaign, okay, is it's like a CIA effort. So whistleblowers inside HHS and CDC are claiming that there's an active sabotage operation taking place within the federal health department. So all that you're seeing on the news is all coordinated. Career CDC bureaucrats are distributing a CIA manual entitled Simple Sabotage to their subordinates. Multiple whistleblowers apparently have turned this information over to Benny Johnson. The CDC ranks are now acting out this CIA strategy to the letter. Walkouts, corporate media hits, fake protests, Senate hearings. It's all staged to systematically sabotage President Trump's health agenda. So everything you're seeing here, it's all this kind of Saul Alinsky playbook kind of crap. It's just always the same thing, folks. And so With all that being said, I also want to mention MyPillow, mypillow.com. Get your Christmas gifts there, folks, and mystore.com. Using promo code Lumberjack or mypillow.com, just simply go to /Lumberjack or call the 800 number at 1-800-568-2865. Again, these percale sheets, once they're gone, they're gone. They're only $29.88. Great sheets to give as gifts. They're lovely sheets. I mean, my audience can chime in here. Those of you who have them, my favorite sheets by far. You won't get a better sheet than the Giza Dream sheet. They are more money, but you want to treat yourself to the best night's sleep ever, get yourself some Giza sheets. They are long staple Egyptian cotton with a satin weave. They feel amazing. But it's not just, the towels. It's not just the sheets. There's a lot of products there, okay? There's the kitchen aprons, bath mitts, pot holders, robes, you name it, beach blankets, all kinds of things that you can get over at mypillow.com. Support Mike Lindell, a true election integrity patriot and a great American. So thanks so much for supporting my show by doing that. It's a win-win-win because you get great deals on the best sleep products. You support Mike Lindell. You support the Lumberjack Logic podcast. That's a quadruple dip, folks. Anyways, I love y'all. Keep fighting the good fight, all right? Peace out.